Greetings all, and welcome to the second Branch Riders actual play. Branch Riders is a story-focused tabletop role-playing game centering on 8 realms known as the Branches, a strange intelligent virus known as the Blight, which can infect anyone and anything, and a secret agency known as the Branch Riders, whose members fight against the Blight to protect the branches. This game has been in the works for about 4 years and just launched on Kickstarter 5, I think, days ago. Um, I had a lot of fun in yesterday's stream showing everybody the realm of the Borderlands, and I'm looking forward to our adventure in the Rails today. I'm Bonnie, one of the writers and game designers for Branch Riders, as well as the game master for today's adventure. I will be guiding our players here through their mission in the Rails. Um, I'll let them introduce themselves as well as their character. Let's start with who was joining us last time. Brain immediately blanks. Ryan.
I'm Ryan. Unlike yesterday, where I inexplicably ended up playing Big Sibling Energy as a moth person, I'll be playing Wallace Clueless Levens today, an aristocrat who totally doesn't have a secret.
Jeremiah.
Hi, I am Jeremiah McCoy, and I will be playing a fellow who has the wonderful nickname of Firewatch, as he's sort of a superhero, also known as Terrence Thomas.
And Crow.
Hi, I'm Crow. I'll be playing Jazzy J. No relation to anyone in real life. Um, I am the life of the party, your DJ, your phenomenal one. No, I did not work for Control. You don't have any proof of that, nor pictures. And also, I'll be yeah, we got Rush playing by Choice of Wait, we're not allowed to do that because of copyright. Okay, we have a generic version of that. Back to you.
Great. Thank you all for being here and helping me showcase Branch Riders today. Just as I did with yesterday's stream, I'm gonna explain some quick info about the world setting/settings. And then we'll hop into the mission and we'll kind of go through the explanation of mechanics as we go through. You all, as the players, already have some basic knowledge of the mechanics. Anything else that y'all don't know about, I'll still be explaining as we get to it. So, yeah. First up, in Branch Riders, there are 8 branches, which are kind of the 8 different worlds of the game. They all have their own settings and histories. Just as a very quick summary, we have the open Old West canvas of the Borderlands, where art is a means of survival. The endless city of noir mysteries known as the Burrows, inhabited by anthropomorphized animals. The scattered islands and steampunk pirates of the Chain, where the Blight is a tool used to power the might of the Steel Imperium. The harsh, high fantasy crags, where the Blight infests the ecosystem itself. The 1960s inspired social media superhero cityscape of the Heights, the authoritarian dystopia of the party, where magic and even emotions are prohibited by an aforementioned group known as Control, the broken sci-fi utopia of the Terminal, where the recovery of knowledge is a desperate fight against a rogue AI, and the Rails, the branch our mission will have us traveling to today. The primary enemy in this game, the Blight, can come in any shape and make a host of anything. Its purpose is to bring chaos and despair, which it will do to any extent it can by any means. It exists in every realm, but it is unknown to nearly all of them. Few can see the Blight, and most who can are scoped out by the Branch Riders as recruits. The Branch Riders are a secret organization consisting of former inhabitants from the various realms, all living in the Nexus, a giant headquarters hidden in a place between the realms. They are an organization dedicated to combating the Blight and protecting the realms while going as unnoticed as possible. The branches are not to know of each other, the curtain which separates them, the Blight, or the Branch Riders. Those in the organization must maintain secrecy, even if it means those in it must leave their former lives behind. They are sent out in teams to investigate signs of the Blight, locate it, and neutralize it. However, today our team is being sent out on a more unusual mission. Today, our team of branch riders is being sent to investigate a distortion in reality. Having multiple realms in existence at once can sometimes cause some abnormalities on occasion. Usually, a force known as the curtain would keep the branches separate and stable, but occasionally it is bypassed, torn, or otherwise disturbed. Sometimes this is something the curtain does on its own. Other times it's something caused by the blight or an inhabitant of a realm. But regardless of the cause, it is something the branch riders must deal with if they are to keep the branches from learning of each other. This distortion seems to be occurring primarily in the branch known as the Rails today, a post-apocalyptic realm where only the strong and fast survive for long. The Rails were once a bustling society full of impressive athletes, genius scientists pushing the boundaries of their own bodies, and now there are few left who remember those days before. But it's said that a biotech firm seeking to provide cheaper animal trait enhancements developed a disease that would provide a vector for splicing strains of animal DNA to the human genome, something now known as juice. Something went horribly wrong, and the disease escaped and infected everyone. All infected were given animal traits, some more subtle than others, but many who were infected became feral. Those that did lost most of their higher brain function, leaving hostility and some basic survival instincts. Now the world lays mostly in ruin. Descendants of those that survived struggle for resources and space away from the feral, and many settlements made are still focused on the athletic and on competition, be it in surviving the apocalypse or through mix-match sports. Though there is no question that this competition does keep many inhabitants of the rails fit enough to survive the feral, it leaves many fending for themselves in a very dangerous world. Your mission today, Branch Riders, is to look for anything out of place, a creature that shouldn't be there, some kind of power or landscape from another branch, maybe even an inhabitant wandering around. The rails are dangerous, and a rift in the curtain can be even more so. Be careful and be vigilant. You're dropped into the middle of a ruins in the rails. Broken windows, walls marked with spray-painted symbols and warnings, bushes and roots overgrown on the sidewalks. You're in a place that would have once been called a city block, now worn down and ransacked. From first looks, there's no one around, but there's a tense feeling in the air that encourages vigilance nonetheless. What would you like to do?
Immediately looking around and making sure that my exquisitely polished shoes are not in dirt, dust, mud, water, brackish liquid of any kind, or, God's forbid, grass.
You do happen to be safe for now. You're gonna need to be pretty careful if you want to keep that the case, but you are on an even bit of concrete for the moment, Wallace. So
Fantastic. The second point of order is high ground. Just see what's around.
alrighty. Are you still wanting to keep your clothing clean while getting up to that higher ground?
It's one of those things where I visibly take a moment to steel myself for what must happen in the course of my duties. I'm not happy with it, but it's bigger than I am. This problem is bigger than I am.
All right. Well, unfortunately, the best way to get high ground in this place is to climb up one of the 1, 2 story buildings. So there's plenty of like roots and broken bits of wall to climb up. You're never really going to be sure if anything's stable. So if you could roll me observant athletics. Oh, yes. So rolling in this game, sorry, I explained it yesterday and then forgot I would need to explain it today. Observant rolling in this game consists of rolling 3 dice. First, you have an approach die, which basically represents the sort of mindset your character is approaching a situation with. Then you have your skill, which is the skill your character is using to accomplish their goal. And finally, a situation die. Uh, the situation die is usually provided by a team's exposure level. You might see a little exposure tracker in the center of the screen. That is how we track how aware the blight or other potential enemies are aware of a branch rider's presence. Right now, starting at level 1, the blight doesn't really know you're here. If there's someone from some other realm, they don't really know if you're here. In the case of the rails, the feral are probably not aware of your presence yet if exposure level is this low. So you are going to be provided with a D10 for a situation die. So, with all of that said, now go ahead and roll me observant and athletics.
We're looking at 3 successes.
Wonderful.
Somehow
Okay.
got a 4 on a d4. I'm not questioning that. I'm taking it.
So, each die that rolls a 4 or a higher is counted as one success. In this case, Wallace here has rolled 3 successes, which is a yes and result, meaning that he is going to succeed at what he's trying to do and gain a little bit more. So, you are able to make your way up a solid 2-story building, get yourself a very good vantage point. Um, and while you're looking around, you actually catch quite a bit. First of all, you do see someone, can't really tell details, but somebody is running down what would have once been called a street a few blocks away towards where the rest of you 3 are. Then you see that there are a few stray feral about the same distance out in a couple different directions, just sort of wandering around aimlessly, more or less. And finally, you notice quite a bit closer on like the building next to you perched is just sort of a normal corvid. It's just a black bird there, except it the closer you look at it, the more you realize there seems to be some sort of static over it, like you'd see from a TV.
Uh,
And it's just kind of staring at you.
so I have a on the equipment. It's classed as ornate rapier, but can I flavor it as a sword cane?
I'm cool with that.
So I point in the direction of the corvid with the sword cane because that seems like the most immediate issue. I'm not gonna say threat because it might be fine. Probably won't be, but it might be. Do I think I've got enough time to get back down before whoever is running, if they continue running in this direction, reaches us?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, you probably could.
So I'm with the ferals. I'm unwilling to make any loud noises, so I'll gesture violently with my sword cane in the direction of the corvid so that it's eye catching for my companions, and then climb all the way back down.
Um,
Alrighty.
I am going to not make too much noise, but I'm trying to get like the bird to like land on my shoulder, trying to reach out to the bird.
Okay. Approach wise, I'd be good with social.
Okay,
Skills wise, I'm thinking probably subtlety if you're trying to keep this thing and yourself quiet as well.
cool. Uh, King, King of Subtle. And is this a situation die? So what was it, D10?
Yes.
I got a 4 on both of my die, but a 6 on the situation die.
Alrighty, that's gonna be 3 successes again. Uh, the bird sort of like turns its head over to you, uh, just sort of eyes you for a moment while you're trying to get it down. How are you trying to get it to come down, by the way?
Um, I'm just thinking back like crows. No, no, that's Raven. Raven's crow. Crows. Uh,
I will
Oh,
say it is a corvid of unknown specificity, so ravens
right.
and crows are both corvids.
Ah,
but
that's
they
correct.
caw.
They call. They do call.
Yeah.
Um, he's just gonna go like, can't really call at them. And you just watch as he has like a shiny bit and some food held out that makes a fittering sound, kind of like fabric, not like anything loud, but obvious for the bird to observe and land.
All right, yeah, it flies down to you, lands on your shoulder. You can see very clearly now the static effect that Wallace was able to see off of it earlier. And additionally, you notice that its its eyes are a sort of pure orange, whereas the rest of it is completely like grayscale coloration. Uh, and as it kind of pecks at the food a little bit, you can even see the food kind of gaining that like static effect. Uh, while it's doing that, Firewatch, what are you up to?
Uh, Firewatch will, uh, being a proper hero, will he'll find a way to sneak over and look at the person running down the street.
Alrighty,
Um,
are you trying to like hide while you observe this person?
yes, which is super easy when he's wearing this superhero style outfit with the flames on the sleeves and worry not, citizen. I will check on our approaching visitor.
All right, yeah, go ahead and roll me observant subtlety.
All right.
Um, you are
Uh,
not the most like blatantly colorful thing here, surprisingly. There's a lot of like graffiti art, so at a glance of someone who's very possibly running for their life, you don't stand out too much. So I'm just gonna let you roll your standard dice for that.
okay, and so it's a D10 from the situation. Yes.
Yes.
All right. I got a 5, a 6, and a 3.
Okay, that is two successes, which is a straight yes result. You succeed at what you're trying to do, nothing more, nothing less. So, yeah, as you kind of find like some bushes to hide in, a bit further down, then as this guy is getting closer up, he's running through. You see that he's got the appearance of basically just like a humanoid ferret and like this tattered, torn, just near shreds trench coat. Um, just breathing very heavily. It seems like he's been running for a while now, and he kind of like is stumbling a bit while he keeps running. So yeah, he's passing you by. Do you want to stop him or just let him keep going over to where your teammates are?
Um, just to keep the my teammates from um being caught unawares. Like, well, they won't be unawares. At least one of them seen him. He will follow the fellow as he goes in towards our teammates.
Okay. So yeah, you follow behind, and we're gonna cut back a bit to Jazzy with the bird. So, after this bird kind of finishes eating a bit of the food that you were holding out for it, it kind of turns its head over in the direction Firewatch left in, and then it sort of spans out its wings and starts kind of like adjusting them a bit, and you hear radio frequencies coming off of this thing. Uh, it flies off your arm kind of onto the ground in front of you, and then sort of adjusts one of its wings up. The other starts folding inward, and there's just this loud screeching sound as it does.
Oh, wait, okay, no, I know this. I know how to work radios. Let me see. And I'm gonna try to adjust the bird to get to like a better frequency.
Adjust the bird to get to a better frequency. All right. You are definitely able to do that. However, first, um, this creature is going to be using one of its abilities, known as Reality Roulette. This is the singular ability in the game where the game master actually rolls dice. So give me a second.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Birds controlling reality with radio frequency. I love it.
Totally not, you know, a thing people believe.
Do
It's
it.
certainly not.
Please do it.
Uh,
Sorry.
okay. So, yeah, so you watch as this thing right in front of you, uh, sort of has this static effect that's on it. I keep saying sort of. Get like bolder and brighter, and the sound starts getting louder. And then the static rises up and sort of takes a new shape. And suddenly you are looking at an inhabitant from the rails. I'm gonna need you to roll observant plus art for me.
Servant plus art. Cool. I got just a seven, so one success, I guess.
Okay, one success has you choose between succeeding at a cost where you accomplish what you're trying to do, but uh, have some sort of repercussion, or fail forward, where you fail at what you're trying to do, but gain some sort of other benefit. In this case, basically the defense roll here that you're going through from
Mhm.
this thing's ability is to be able to tell what exactly it's actually done. Has it swapped itself with somebody? Has it taken on a disguise? Is this its true form and the bird was some sort of shape-shifting ability? That's basically what you're trying to figure out. So,
Um,
would you like to succeed at a cost or fail forward?
hmm, hmm. Too early to get myself wiped, so I'm just gonna fail forward on this one.
Alrighty. So, you have no idea what happened. Bird was standing in front of you a second ago. Now it's just some armadillo dude with like knee pads on. Uh, yeah, it could be the bird. It might not be the bird. For all you know, this thing was just birthed and the bird's gone now. It could be anything. On the bright side, uh, I'm trying to think actually. Hmm. Okay, yeah. On the bright side, whatever this thing is does not seem to be violent in any way, at least towards you. Uh,
Oh, okay.
turns around, just holds out its hand.
Wally, Wally, I think it's friendly.
Yeah, which point I'll arrive. Is it like um, easily enough to infer that it's holding out a hand to shake, or it's just holding out its hand awkwardly?
You've got no clue.
Oh, I will absolutely shake and turn and kiss the knuckles. You know, like air kiss, not actual non-consensual kissing.
Hmm.
Enchanted, Wallace Levens at your service.
It kind of looks at the hands while you shake, draws its hand back, and is just staring at you blankly now. Firewatch. At this point, you can see this ferret man that you've been following swiftly approaching your friends and an armadillo person who is now there. Apparently they found somebody while you were gone. Would you like to just let the ferrets arrive, see what happens?
Yeah, I mean he's following him, but
Hmm.
he's basically trying to keep close enough that he can do something if it turns somehow violent, but he's more or less just waiting to see what happens.
Okay. Yeah, this ferret runs straight towards Wallace, Jazzy, and this armadillo fellow. Sees them. You all see the ferret again, tattered trench coat, looks completely exhausted, and he like skids to a stop and is kind of just examining you all for a moment.
Um,
I just
Hello?
I bow. Wallace Levens at your service.
Okay, you're not crazy. Good. Good. Uh, there's some, and you all hear growls and screeches and caws and the sound of feet and running across the ground, wings flying in the air. I'm gonna need y'all to raise the exposure level by one as you see a horde of feral coming your way.
Ah, yes, that was the other thing I meant to tell you. I do apologize.
I mean, everyone makes mistakes. That's fine. Also, I think we should run.
I mean, I
It'd likely be
suppose.
a wise choice.
Turning to the armadillo person and the ferret person. Do either of you know a safe place where we make seek refuge or shelter? Redundancy there, I suppose, but they have different meanings.
The armadillo goes from looking at the ferret back to looking at you and then vanishes.
Well, that answered my question. They appear to have known somewhere they could seek shelter. Uh, and then just turn and look expectantly at the ferret person.
I have no idea where to go, but we need to start running. These things are crazy.
When I was above, could I see a gap in the feral coverage, so to speak?
Yes, about left from where you entered into the rails, there were not any feral in that direction.
Then may I suggest?
Everywhere else there was.
Then may I suggest this way? And I just start running.
Okay, the ferret just follows right along with you. Firewatch, Jazzy, are you two following?
Oh, definitely.
All right.
So, yeah.
Um, as you all start to run, I'm gonna need y'all to make some different rolls. How are y'all approaching this? Are you each just sort of running fast as you possibly can? Are you sort of looking out for like uh back alleyways and such, sort of weave your way through, take a bit of a harder path to follow? What's the plan here?
Yeah, for me, I'm definitely looking at the most advantageous route that I can possibly take, while still remaining with everyone else. But I'm angling for observant is what I'm aiming for here.
Yeah, I think give me observant athletics again. Do the other two y'all want to follow that? Try and look for your own ways as well,
Um,
or
I'm going to use the fact that I am quite so physically capable that I'm going to be a little more forceful and sort of doing the bouncing and jumping thing
got
to
it. All right.
get ahead.
Alrighty. Yeah,
Um,
give me forceful athletics then. And Jazzy?
you know what? I'm gonna try to be a little creative with this. I am gonna try to like if we got one person who can watch and one person who can take down, then I am going to try and kind of uh, creatively hinder these guys, or at least distract them with something, so they're getting off of our tails.
Got it. All right. So yeah, as you three are sort of running through, oh, right. I'm gonna need rolls from y'all first. So yeah,
Right.
Wallace, go ahead and give me observant athletics,
Yeah,
Firewatch, forceful athletics, and Jazzy, creative athletics.
I'd very much like to succeed at a cost, please, with my one success.
Got it. Firewatch, Jazzy, how about the two of y'all?
Um,
Let's see.
do we still have the D10 as the
Yes.
situation die?
It's
It's
actually a D8 now since your exposure level has increased. The higher exposure level gets, the
Oh,
lower your situation die is.
okay.
And does my super strength provide any assistance?
I believe it could. Give me a second to look over that gift again. Um, so you went with super strength for your gift?
Um, I didn't realize I didn't get both of them. Oh, okay.
Yes, you have to choose one or the other.
No,
Apologies.
in that case, yeah, no. I will just use the pyrokinesis, and I won't be using that in this particular thing. So,
Got it.
Two.
Alrighty.
uh, I got nothing.
Oh, okay. So,
I
we're
got a
gonna start
two, a
with
two, and a one.
Wallace. You're able to find some sort of like back ways and such. However, they are all quite difficult to make it through, and so you end up sort of straining yourself while you're making your way through the obstacles, which you are realizing as you're going through. It seems like this place is sort of made to be like parkoured around, or at least after it was ruined, it was. There's sort of like boards around everywhere where you could see like skateboards and scooters and such could make their way off of. There's like zip lines on top of buildings. There's a bunch of spots where there you can like climb over on the walls. Yeah, you're making it through. You're getting away. Unfortunately, you are going to suffer a condition in the process. So, in Branch Riders, the way that players, characters take damage is through conditions. There are six different conditions in the game, that being hurt, gripped, weakened, which is what you're going to be taking in this case, Wallace, hesitant, isolated, and provoked. Each condition has a basic form where it gives you a D4 situation die for certain types of actions. In Weakened's case, you have a D4 situation die when exerting extra effort. And in advanced form, where you are incapable of certain actions until the condition is reduced or removed. If a character at any point has two advanced conditions, they are taken out, which means they can't do much of anything until one of the conditions is reduced or removed. So, whilst you are receiving the weakened condition as getting through all of these obstacles and sort of searching out for alternate pathways, has you exhausting yourself quite a bit. Jazzy, you are making your way through pretty well. You're also managing to use the same sort of like left behind obstacles and materials to create some issues for the sort of apocalyptic friends following your way. You manage to Here's a window, you smash it, there's some glass on the ground where y'all were just running through. You find a zip line that you're able to sort of quickly like take, change it over to being this sort of tripwire on the ground. Um, so on and so forth as you're going through. So you are going to slow the feral some. Firewatch. Zero successes is a no and result. You fail to accomplish what you're trying to do, and something additionally bad happens for you. So, as you're running through, not only are you failing to keep up with your allies, the feral catching up with you, and that's when you trip. So there's some roots on the ground, overgrowing some of the sidewalk you were running on. You failed to notice that, and you got unlucky. Fall onto the ground, and you can now see the feral making their way up to you.
Okay.
You've got a short moment before they make it up to you. Would you or anyone else like to do something to get you out of the situation?
I will. Uh, I'm going to try and scare off this crowd.
Okay.
So I'm going to create a conflagration.
Ooh, okay. Is that so? In this game, characters have special abilities known as gifts. These are either like some sort of mystical power, some sort of powerful item, or unique skill set that they have from their home realm. In this case, Firewatch is from the Heights, which is sort of a like superhero realm, and has a gift known as pyrokinesis. They are able to sort of control fire and heat, as well as do some stuff with cold and ice as well. So, I believe creating a conflagration is the world scale of your gift.
Yes.
So, using your gift can also sometimes have consequences. There are multiple scales. There's a free ability, which you can usually use without rolling. A self ability, which usually just affects yourself or some sort of like immediate object near you. Um, an other scale, which usually targets somebody else or some like area or some like spot near you. And then your world ability, which affects the entire area around you. Using an ability, a gift at the world scale automatically raises exposure by one level. Are you willing to do that, Firewatch?
I'm about to get overrun by a crowd of bad guys. I don't.
That's very true. So go ahead and give me a roll. When you're using your gift, you automatically get a D8 instead of choosing a skill to roll. So I'd be willing to take forceful or social for this since you're trying to intimidate them away more so than harm them. I'm
Right.
assuming you don't mind if they get hurt though.
I mean, I'm not going to try and catch somebody in a flame to kill them or anything. But
Mhm.
if they get a little singed, he's not going to worry.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm good with forceful or social for the approach then.
Okay. Cool. 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 Cool.
What you got?
Nothing.
Again.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I guess
all
what we
right.
might have is a lot of fire now, all of a sudden.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm having a very bad day.
Yes, quick question. Did either of you stay behind with Firewatch when you realized he was about to get caught by the feral?
I'm guessing it. like I'm exerting myself doing this, so I imagine I would have been starting to lag behind anyway. So I'm happy to be here.
All right, yeah. Jazzy, how about you? Did you notice any of this happening, or are you still just going?
I think I was going at first and then turned around and I'm like, oh, Firewatch, you're doing great. And then see that and I'm just like, you're doing not as great. And probably try to go back and try to find some way to rescuing him.
All right, yeah. So, you're all running back when this burst of fire comes out of your ally and creates this whole, instead of scaring the feral away, now creates this ring of fire, keeping you all in the same general location. Uh, you see the ferret that's sort of been following along with y'all loosely, taking his own pathway occasionally, but overall staying with you. As he sort of sees this about to happen and backs up out of the ring, and y'all see him kind of look back at all of you, look over at the feral, and then seems to hear something in another direction and keeps running. So you three are now caught in this ring with, let's say, about 15 feral from this total horde. Uh, yeah, and they're gonna jump at you. So, I'm gonna need all of you to tell me how you're defending. As Wallace, you've got this tiger feral jumping at you, trying to claw up at you. Firewatch, you have this rhino feral charging straight at you, and Jazzy, you have a blue jay feral that is flying to grab you up with its talons. How do each of you respond?
For me, it's all about just observing my opponent and using my sheathed sword cane for the moment, at least, to just block their blows. I'm aiming for observant and fighting, but I'm obviously happy to work
That
for
sounds
whatever.
about right. That
Uh,
sounds about right to
would
me.
we could apply to this?
Mm. I'm gonna say no for the moment. If this gets escalated much more, then it'll probably start applying for every role in this fight. But initially, if you're just kind of watching and trying to just like block divert attacks, you're not expending too much physical energy. You're mostly just watching out.
Fantastic, thank you.
All right, Firewatch, how about you?
Um, because this is where he's decent. He's going to try and uh dodge out of the way of this rhino. He's just gonna sort of redirect him.
Okay, I'd be good with observant fighting as well, or observant athletics.
Okay. So,
And Jazzy, how about you?
Um, because Jazzy always got to be the one with like the weird approach to everything. Um, you he probably is just gonna go and try to grab for the bird that's trying to lift him up, kind of use that as like a platform for himself, and try to play a calming tune on the guitar and try to calm all of these loud and feral beasts down with a frequency.
So you're letting this thing take you up.
Oh yeah.
All right. Um, yeah, go ahead, give me creative. I'm good with creative art. I'm good with creative communication. Uh, and you're using one of your items for this, correct? One of your equipment.
Yes. Guitar.
Yeah, go ahead and raise one of those dice up by a rank.
Ooh, okay.
So, that means that like a D4 upgrades to a D6, D6 upgrades to a D8, so on and so forth. And then while that's going on, Wallace, what did you get?
I got 3 successes.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. As you're about to be attacked by this thing, you manage to block it, sort of divert it with the cane. It swipes at you again. You're able to just kind of sidestep, dodge it, and you're getting a moment to sort of get your bearings, catch your breath. You're not removing that condition quite yet. However, you do manage to catch that there is one spot in this sort of ring of fire where you still might get burned, but it's the least likely spot for you to get burned if you were to try to run out of this thing.
Am I able to point that out to my colleagues?
Yes, yes, you can.
Then I shall point that out to my colleagues mid like sidestep, pivot, pirouette.
Alrighty. Firewatch, what'd you get?
1 success.
Oh,
That's better than you've gotten. So, would you like to succeed at a cost or fail forward?
Um, I'm guessing succeed at a with a cost is probably the better option here, because getting trampled by a rhino man seems poor.
That's fair. Okay. So you were also trying to like dodge out of the way, divert, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Um, okay. Yeah, you do dodge out of the way. Uh, this rhino feral ends up running straight through the fire and then comes back. You now have a flaming rhino. And it does not care that it's on fire. Somehow that's not a bother to it. It's just angry.
I would be too, to be fair.
Jazzy, what you got?
got a 3.
You got a 3. Okay. So yeah, this blue jay picks you right up off the ground and you take it in complete stride. It's like this was your plan all along. Um, you start playing your guitar. You're trying to tune at a frequency to sort of calm these things down.
Yeah. Probably just going like, okay, what do ferals need to calm down? You know what? Dream pop? No, that's a little bit too much. Let's go with shoegaze. Let's go with shoegaze for this one.
While you're just being picked up by this bird, like ravenously, not ravenously, what's the word I'm looking for? Ragefully cawing down at you, or tweeting, I guess, down at you. Um, all right, yeah, you start playing. It's actually worth mentioning, something that some inhabitants of the rails have been working on is this project of like radio towers with frequencies that like draw the feral away from certain areas. So this is absolutely something that you would possibly already have some information on. So you actually find a song that helps you play in those frequencies, and a lot of the ferals start getting driven away. We're gonna say since your plan was to play along with the song, you can't quite get the exact frequency, but not only do you calm most of the feral here down, you actually get a lot of them like kind of like covering their ears and running off. Um, we're gonna say that y'all are only dealing with the 3 exact feral that initially attacked you. Uh, we're also gonna say, would you prefer for the blue jay to keep a hold of you or to drop you onto a rooftop?
Hmm.
Because I'm gonna
Uh,
say you have gotten this thing disturbed enough to where you can choose if you want to hold on or not. Like you
uh,
could get out of its grasp if you wanted.
Let me see. Hmm.
By the way, since I already know the other 2 gifts, Ryan, I'm assuming at this point you went with Gentry.
Yeah, I went with Gentry.
Okay.
Mm.
I'm going to land on the roof. seeing as like they got it down there, just land down there, just keep playing.
Alrighty. Yeah, you managed to kind of get your grasp away from the Blue Jay Feral and land on a rooftop. You're able to keep playing. Firewatch, you're gonna get another attack thrown your way. This time it's on fire. If you get hit, this is gonna hurt more than it would have the first time.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Of course it is.
It's getting ready to charge at you, so you do have a chance to attack or run or something before it does.
I'm going to I'm going to try and freeze it.
All right. So that's another use of your gift. This time be on the other scale, so you're only going to risk exposure raising if you roll poorly.
Oh, good, 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 good. Uh, what approach should I
Hmm.
use here?
This is a pretty straightforward use of the gift, so I'd say forceful.
Okay. Mhm. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? One.
Succeed at a cost or fail forward.
I mean, when you asked what was the worst that could happen, you've literally rolled the worst that could happen twice in a row. So
Yep,
I mean,
Yeah,
didn't roll it this time.
that's true.
that's
Wasn't a
fair.
full jinx.
yeah. No, the dice are trying to tell a story tonight. And that story is the downfall of this Firewatch, apparently. Succeed with a cost.
Okay.
It's more on fire.
All right. Yeah. You freeze it along with yourself.
Of course I do. No, 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 that tracks. That tracks.
So this thing charges at you. You like reach out, freeze it, and it's so close to you that some of the ice and frost sort of backfires onto you. We're gonna say it freezes the right side of your body in place. So your right arm down over your chest, down to your right leg is frozen. You can move the rest of your body around, but you can't really move out of this spot
Sure,
as your
sure.
leg is frozen to the ground and your arm is frozen to the ice that is attached to the rhino feral.
Yeah, yeah. No, no.
Wallace, you've got a bit more time to handle this tiger feral before it attacks you next. What would you like to do?
Do I have the time to see Firewatch's
Yeah, you could go
mishap?
over and help with that.
Uh,
That's a funny word.
so I was hoping to continue what I'm doing, just avoiding the tiger, but lead
Hmm.
it towards them and use the tiger to smash the ice.
Interesting.
Because I'm not a
Okay.
very strong person, and quite
Could
frankly,
you
that's below me.
could you give me social fighting as you're trying to basically bait this tiger into hitting a certain spot?
I can absolutely give you social fighting.
Okay.
We're looking at 2 successes.
Okay, yeah. Are you just trying to smash the connection between Firewatch and the Rhino?
Yeah, I'm trying to help as much as I can with the ice while leaving the rhino how dealt with, however temporarily. Let's say.
Okay, yeah. This tiger slashes right down, breaking some of the ice. I did forget to give you the gripped condition Firewatch, but it's gone now, so don't worry about it. Um, yeah, you're able to break a bit away from this thing, from this rhino, and then the tiger is going to now take another swipe at you. Um, yeah, or if you're still just dodging, give me another observant fighting.
Yeah, it's but it. I have no reason to apart from self defense, to kill it. So I'm
Yeah.
just trying to get it to wear
Go
itself
ahead and
out.
upgrade one of your dice though, as Jazzy up on the rooftop, still strumming away, has made this thing slightly more docile.
That is 3 successes.
Great. Okay. So, yeah, you're able to dodge this thing. Would you like to maybe land a hit on its head, knock it unconscious?
Very much so. Yeah, I'm not trying to like just the solid wood of the cane rather than the blade itself within.
All right, yeah. You knock the tiger out. That leaves Jazzy. You're up here with the Blue Jay. You're strumming away. This thing is swooping down at you again, seemingly just to claw at you with the talons this time.
We've
How would you like to
established
respond?
that swooping
Um,
is bad.
I am gonna try and jump on this thing and ride it like an airboard, is what I'm trying to do.
Huh. Okay. Give me creative athletics.
Perfect.
Birdfic or
Two
birdfic.
successes. Perfect. It's perfect. Two successes.
Okay, yeah, you're right in this thing. Well, what are you doing from here?
Um, I'm gonna try to like keep one foot on the thing's neck, but not try to break it. Just try to like guide it just a bit, and another one just to kind of move back and forth, get the feel of it, and just try to go around the group and be like, okay, you guys look like you're doing great. Wallace, uh, amazing parry. Firewatch, that was awesome. You froze the thing, dude.
You're given like emotional support.
Give it all the emotional support. Uh, just unhelpful positivity.
It might actually be slightly helpful. We'll see in a moment here. Can you, I guess, roll me social athletics?
Social athletics. Okay.
Alternatively, creative communication?
Uh, Either way, it's just one success.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna say, oh, right. Succeeded cost, fail forward.
Um, I'm gonna fail forward.
Okay. Um, your encouraging words don't really land all that much. Y'all can you two Firewatch Walls can decide if it's just emotionally encouraging. There is something called edges in this game, which is sort of the contrast to conditions, and there is literally an edge called encouraged. Um, so y'all will not be receiving that at the moment with the fail forward. Uh, Additionally, this bird is going down. It can't handle your full weight on top of it. So you've only got a bit. However, you catch an eye outside of the ring of fire that your friends are trapped in. You catch eye of the ferret a couple blocks down, talking to some other people, and then sort of getting like ushered into a building, a warehouse
Oh,
specifically.
guys, I found a building. I think I found a building.
That is fantastic. Do you have a way out of this ring of fire without plummeting from the sky?
No, but I will try to find one. He says with a strum.
All right. So, yeah, this bird's going down. I'm gonna need an immediate response on how you're getting out of here without just plummeting.
Um, he's gonna try to like a plane, aim this thing down and try to get like a good landing, like a emergency plane landing, and just get on the ground just a bit.
Hey, we're gonna say observant for the approach.
Okay.
We're gonna say tools for the skill. Tools is
Perfect.
usually a skill about like mechanics or using like your equipment. At this point, the bird is effectively a makeshift piece of equipment, so I can't think of anything else that would apply. We're going with tools.
I got a 5, a 4, and a 6.
That's a yes and. All right. You land this thing down. Hmm. Do we want to say that the speed at which this bird is descending, the sort of gust coming through with it takes out some of the fire, leaves an opening?
Yeah, I'm trying to get my friends out of there. It's starting to get a little dicey, especially since one of them is literally kind of stuck in a block vise.
All right. Yeah, this thing makes a bit of a crash landing. It's a little rough, but nothing too bad. And yeah, you two are given an opening. Um, Firewatch, you're gonna be able to get through there pretty easily. Wallace, due to your weakened state, I am gonna need a roll from you.
That is totally fine. What would you
It's
like?
just gonna be straight forceful athletics, unless
Um,
you've got another idea.
no, not really. I'm good. I assume that the D4 weakened applies.
Yes.
That is complete fail. Nearly got a success, but complete fail.
Okay. Um, yeah, so you're about to run and get through here. You don't make it in time. Additionally, the fire round sort of catches back into the center right about the time you're making it in there. So you're going to suffer a hurt condition as you get burned a bit before you like jump back instinctively. You are still in this ring of fire, and the heat is beginning to melt the rhino that is still within it. What would any of y'all like to do to help get Wallace out of this?
Hmm.
Is there
Oh,
anything? Sorry, please.
oh no, you first.
Is there anything within the fire that I can like? Nah, I'm not strong enough. Is the thing. Um, Short of just climbing and jumping up, or like rooftop to rooftop, or elevation to elevation. Let's say over it, if that's possible. That's I'm out of ideas. Or just dive through the fire. I mean, my impression is dramatic. So
Okay. Well, if you're wanting to climb up something, you could try just straight climbing up something. It'd be a bit difficult. The buildings around you are much more crumbled than a lot of the others. However, the zip line Jazzy turned into a tripwire does happen to be in this little ring of fire. You could try and use it as a rope, latch on up to the roof of a building, climb up from it.
yeah, sure. What could possibly go wrong with that and being weakened and hurt?
Oh
All
no.
right, go ahead and give me. You can still just make the jump through the fire if you want to.
It's not as dramatic though, is it?
Fair enough. All right, yeah. We're gonna say, give me either forceful tools or forceful athletics.
Oh, I'll take tools. It's my D10.
All right, and
Help.
then you still got that D4 situation die.
Two successes.
Awesome. Okay, you managed to climb up. The fire from the ring is kind of inching its way towards you as you make your final steps up. Do you want to just find a spot to climb down?
Yeah, no, like it will be with flair and panache, but it is not to my usual levels. Let's say, which Firewatch and Jazzy would know. Like something is clearly wrong right now.
Got it. All right. Yeah. You make your way down. I'm not gonna make you roll for it. Three of you are back out of the ring of fire. The feral are held at bay for now, but you get the feeling they won't be gone for too long. Would you like to head over to that building that Jazzy saw?
Does the hurt condition have any mechanical effect?
Yes. It gives you a D4 situation die for using what is hurt. I'm gonna say your hands got burned.
That's fine. Is it a basic
You
condition?
already had a D4 situation die from weakened for the action you just went through, so it doesn't really stack exactly, unless it is the same in condition inflicted multiple times.
Uh,
There, I believe, is an alternate rule in the game for having separate conditions combined for stuff like that. I'm not using that today.
Thank you for being merciful. Uh, is it a basic condition?
It is a basic condition, correct?
Yeah, I'm just going to look to Firewatch and Jazzy because I'm brushing myself off as best I can and grimacing at the state of my shoes.
All right, head into the building.
Yes.
Yeah.
All righty. You make your way over to the warehouse. In the meantime, y'all do catch a glimpse of the bird that y'all saw earlier flying overhead. The non-anthropomorphized bird. Uh, it's kind of too far away to do much of anything, at least from immediate thoughts. Unless y'all want to do something about that, we're going to be entering the warehouse.
Okay.
Just gonna clock it.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all make it to the what would usually be the entrance. You go to open the door, and you just hear from inside. I think they found us, and doors locked, or boarded from the other side. You can't really tell which, honestly, because the knob turns. It just doesn't move really. It just sort of jangles when you try to open the door. Uh, yeah, you're not being let in right now.
I'll be honest, fellows. Sorry. Oh, Jazz. What are Jazz's and Firewatch's pronouns?
Oh, be he, him.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll be honest, fellows. I show my burnt palms, tucking my Sorkane under one arm. My ability to open doors right now, locked, unlocked, or barricaded, is severely hampered.
I may be able to do this. So one of the abilities on the pyrokinesis is you can heat up your hands hot enough to uh ignite things and such.
Ooh, okay.
I want to heat up my hand enough to melt where the door mechanism, the lock mechanism is.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, give me a roll. This is going to be I believe, a self-use of this gift, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so there isn't really much risk for exposure in this case. Go ahead, give me. I'm good with creative or forceful for the approach, and then your gift die is a D8.
Okay. And our situation is still D8.
Correct, I believe. I can't actually see the exposure tracker right now, so I'm keeping
Yes,
it
we're
on
we're at level
memory.
3.
Got it.
Uh, okay. Well, that's an opposite result, I guess. I rolled 3 8s.
Okay, yeah. Anything that could have possibly been holding this door closed is now gone. Um, while you're doing that, you hear multiple people actually from the other side of the door, like freaking out at the fact that this doorknob on their end is just melting, basically. Uh, there's not exactly superpowers in the rails. We're gonna say for that end result, they're going to assume this is some sort of like piece of scrap together tech you have to heat this up. They're not going to end up questioning how you do this. Usually, gift use would get you at least a bit of questions from inhabitants in a realm, even with successes. We're going to waive that this time.
Okay.
You just open the door, kick the door open once it's unlocked. How are y'all entering in?
Just push it open as the lock falls away. Just hello. Hello.
You see four people in the inside of this warehouse. First of all, You see the ferret that was running with y'all earlier. You see a crow anthropomorphized this time. Uh, an armadillo who looks quite familiar, and a roadrunner. All of the people in here are the anthropomorphized inhabitants of the rails instead of just the straight up animals. Um, as you all walk in, they sort of take a moment, and then the crow sort of like loosens up a bit. Was on the ready to attack. Probably assumed you were all feral, and then is just like, you didn't have to burn barrier down, but come on.
That's his way of saying hello.
Hi.
I can I look at so for people's benefit. Well, this is from the chain, the steampunk area, and tools is my highest skill. Just looking at the barricade, do I think one I can fix it and two I can make it better?
Oh, absolutely. This was very like rudimentary, shackled together in a rush, as is the numerous other barricades you see around this warehouse.
Uh,
So, yeah, do you want to get to work on that?
yeah, I just carefully lean the sword cane against the wall to whomever it was that comment mentioned on the barricade. You're quite correct. We broke it. I shall fix it, and I will go to work trying to improve this, or fix it at the very least, improve it if possible.
The crow starts nodding. Okay, that would be appreciated. We don't know how far they are behind, but judging by the looks of all of you, we're probably not in the greatest shape for secrecy at the moment. And the crow actually walks over and starts helping you with it. Do you want to give me a knowledgeable tools roll with an upgraded die?
That works for me. D8 for situation.
Yep.
I have a D10 for tools, and I'll upgrade knowledgeable to D8 as well. One success.
Okay. Fail forward, succeed at a cause.
Very much I'd like to succeed at a cost. I'd like to get these people on our side.
All right, yeah. You're going to finish up this barricade. It's made well, made a bit better than it was before. Uh, Additionally, what sort of barricade are you making? What is this exactly? Are you using like scrap metal? Or are you just using like wooden boards? How you doing this?
Uh, Before I forget, in spirit of honesty, I realized I should have rolled a D4 for the situation die, but the success was not on my situation die.
Got it.
It will. I mean, I'm more used to, I guess, metal being the primary construction here, so I'll be using a lot of scrap metal to reinforce the barricade rather than wood.
Okay. This crow who introduces herself as Levy, actually seems to have some like just sort of basic like tinkering items on her. She pulls out like some gear, starts like working on a new locking mechanism. Um, y'all make it. In the process, you do end up having to work quite a bit to like meld metal and such with and like put things together. So even though you're kind of having a moment to rest, the work on this is going to keep you weakened for quite a bit longer than you would have otherwise. Firewatch, Jazzy, what are you two doing in the meantime?
You're muted there.
Yeah, sorry. Firewatch will uh try and assist in shoring up defenses on this place, I guess.
Okay. Um,
He is pretty smart.
okay. You want to give me knowledgeable tools?
Yeah. Um, could I make an argument for knowledgeable science?
That depends. How are you like upgrading these defenses?
Um, he is going to uh, uh hmm, he's going to find better materials for uh bracing, like instead of like some scrap plywood, he might find a particular uh grade of wood that has a better sort of tensile strength, for lack of a better term.
All right, I'm cool with that. Yeah, give me knowledgeable science.
Okay. Because need some luck right now. I'm not having a good night on the dice.
In the meantime, while you're rolling, Jazzy, what are you doing?
Um, I am, because while they're shoring up the defenses, I am going to listen in for information.
Okay, and you got two successes, Firewatch?
Yep, we got two successes.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, you're able to bolster up these defenses just by kind of upgrading the material that they're working with. All right, Jazzy, you're just listening in, trying to figure out what's going on.
Uh, Let me see. Repeat that one more time.
You're just like listening in, kind of getting your
Yeah,
bearings of what's going on.
getting the bearings. Because I know we're on a mission for like looking for abnormalities, so I'm kind of listening
Hmm.
for the abnormalities.
Okay, yeah. You learn that the armadillo's name is Chunks and the Roadrunner's name is Blip. Um, the two of them are kind of talking. Levy, the crow, is also talking. The three of them are kind of trying to figure out, like, okay, Farrell's on the way. We got to figure out where to go to get out of here. They mention that they're like they've got a lot of like scavenged resources and materials and rations and such that they found in the warehouse that they need to look through, figure out what they can drop so that they're not as slowed down running from the feral. Can you give me a knowledgeable culture roll?
I can do that. Nothing. I got nothing.
Okay. Yeah, these people seem to just be the four of them just seem to be scavengers. Uh that's really about all you glean other than the information I've already told you.
This is a nice place for acoustics. This sounds like a great spot for like a concert.
Uh Sniffs the ferret who is just introduced himself uh to you very recently. Just kind of looks at you. Are you sure you want to be playing music with those things out there?
He stopped strumming. There's a weird feedback on the guitar, like not abrasive, but like it's uh kind of just strikes like an odd chord, and he's just like,
Levy
well,
looks at you with like a death glare and is like, "You want to turn that thing off, bud?"
uh, it flips off, and in fact, it shuts down by itself the moment that's said.
Mm.
Well, it kind of defrequentizes like the ferals, and then he goes into like this long diatribe about like this how sound and frequency works of like avoiding certain creatures, and it just kind of pours out without even realizing that he's doing it, and then he stops and kind of looks for like expressions.
Um, Sniffs is incredibly interested. Uh, just like fascinated and is honestly waiting for you to keep going even after you're done. Chunks and Blip are just tuned out like 5 seconds in and started looking through the stuff that they've got. Levy was listening at first, but by the time you're done, the expression on his face is just annoyance.
And you are
Oh,
well acquainted with Wallace's extremely overly sincere, attentive face. He's probably checked out too.
awesome. Okay, long story short, yeah, I can make the guys kind of go away or kind of calm them down. I'm still trying to work on which note goes where, but it's either note.
Sniff sort of walks up cautiously for some reason, and then is like looking at your guitar. May I? Takes is just looking at it. What sort of this is an instrument, right?
He's a keytar.
All right. Guitars. What, this is like a piano kind of?
Piano, guitar, radio.
Okay, okay. It's fascinating. Did you make it yourself? He hands it back to you.
Yeah, I made it myself. Had a lot of time to myself, and it's like probably a cut scene of him somewhere with like handcuffed, and it's like working on his device after he left control, and just has been like going on that same diatribe, and them just kicking him out, and then cutting it right back to that scene.
Great. Okay. Um, so this is like so or did you explain any of that? I'm assuming if you did, you left out the parts specific to the party.
Yeah, left out like not the like party how that's related to them, but it's mostly just like, oh yeah, I made the thing. It's I had a lot of time in my hands and and oh also I can encourage people with it.
Okay.
And holding a
Um,
thumbs up to Wally and Firewatch.
He can be quite encouraging and, dare I say, inspiring on occasion.
all right. Um, it did just occur to me. I should have mentioned this much earlier. In the Rails, nearly everyone has at least some sort of anthropomorphic trait, even if they're mostly humanoid. Since none of you are from the Rails or the boroughs where people are also anthropomorphized, um, you were given devices, kind of like cloaking devices, but more so like disguises to add some sort of animal trait to you. It's purely visual, but how are each of you disguised? You could be fully looking like an anthropomorphized animal or just have traits like scales or some ears or whatever.
Uh, I think Firewatch has fox features, like little red tufted ears that stand up and a little fox nose.
Alrighty, alrighty.
Based on entirely information that only I have on my character sheet, that is hilarious for me.
Say that again.
Based entirely on my background, that is hilarious for me. My background being that I have a secret alter ego called the Fox, who is essentially Batman, but dueling Batman rather than beating criminals to a pulp Batman.
Got it.
Uh, as for me, it's kind of like uh, uh, black eyes, and then my hair, which I slick back. The like this from the widow's peak I have, it's just three peacock tail feather quills.
Love it. Okay. Jazzy, how about you?
Um, it's probably bunny ears, like coming through like the baseball cap, like just two bunny ears that kind of flop out every so often and kind of move around like antennas every so often.
All right. Um, yeah, so apologies. I should have mentioned that basically when y'all arrived in the rails, but I forgot about it. Um, so yeah, continuing on, sniffs. Do you mention the part while you're going on your diatribe, Jazzy, about that you were in prison or were handcuffed at least while you were making these things?
Um, It's more subtle than anything else. And in fact, subtlety for him probably be like, yeah, so these guys probably had me handcuffed for about 4 hours, maybe 8 hours at the time when I was making it. Um, Also, I think I was upside down at one point.
So subtlety with an asterisk.
Yeah, subtle with an asterisk. It doesn't mention
Got it.
control, but it's like he got kidnapped and like these guys just had him bound for a long time while he made this thing.
Okay. Sips is like you were handcuffed.
I mean, yeah, but it was good coordination training at the time.
Yeah. Um, I'm gonna need you to give me a social subtlety roll.
And I use my emotional augury other for this.
Mhm. Yes, yes you can. Would you mind explaining how that ability works for benefit of people watching?
Certainly. When you speak, it seems to come from a place of knowledge and wisdom. Whoever hears you will find you trustworthy, even in spite of obvious evidence to the contrary.
Got it. All right. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, go ahead and roll me social with your gift, which is always D8, and then you got your situation die.
Two successes.
Okay, yeah. Seems like Sniffs was trying to sniff something out, and then kind of loses track in it. Yeah, it works. He trusts you. Um, yeah. So Firewatch, Wallace, y'all kind of finish boarding up everything, and the uh the other people in the warehouse, Levy, Chunks, and Blip, kind of round up to gather up like their bags and satchels and stuff of just different things they've gathered, start searching through it. Um, unless y'all want to do anything, while they're searching through, they get to one bag. Again, they're looking for things that they can drop or just like get rid of so that they aren't being slowed down while running from the feral. Levy sort of turns back to all of you. You're traveling pretty light. What are you all doing out here?
I just, for myself, I happen to want to go for a walk, and well, kept walking.
Chunks sort of turns around. It's pretty bold.
Uh,
Like it.
I turn to look at Chunks, and like it's painfully obvious that there are no thoughts in my head. This is an aristocrat who gets by entirely on vibes and conscience.
I,
Got it.
I would like to say that I'm here to improve the world, make it a little better. That's why I went for a walk.
Snips is like, yeah, well, this place could use some of that. Just kind of under his breath. Um, they keep looking through, and then they get to one bag. They open it up. I don't know if any of y'all are looking in at what they're going through.
I'm paying attention in a passive way because I'm trying to figure out if I can help them build like a trolley or something to put extra supplies on, but not
Got
Yeah,
it.
paying specific attention to what's actually in the bag.
Okay.
I'll try and keep attention, but not look like I'm trying to keep attention.
Got it.
Uh, Jazz is definitely paying attention, just like not even trying to hide it.
All right, yeah. They open up this bag, and Firewatch, Jazzy, you two see that this bag is full of like vials and sealed bottles and needles. Uh, Within like the vials, there's and bottles, there's different colors of like pink, orange, liquid. It's sort of like got this very odd, almost bubbling texture to it. Um, and Levy like immediately like takes a couple steps back, like whoa, 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 and Everybody else there just starts kind of looking in. Sniffs is like, is that what I think it is? And Levy goes, that's juice. That's juice. Now, bit of background information on the rails. This was briefly mentioned earlier. Juice is the sort of gene splicing chemical that caused this apocalypse.
Ah,
It is still found around sometimes in just like random spots, just left over from before things went to the ruins that they are now. Um, some juice is completely safe to take aside from the fact that it will alter your body, but usually those alterations are benefits in some way. Those alterations are how many of the people who have survived because they got wings or defensive capabilities or got faster, stronger, whatever else. However, the large majority of this stuff will turn you feral.
huh.
So,
I
yeah, all of them are sort of looking at this stuff a little bit cautiously. Levy is like a very like almost afraid of just the sight of this stuff. However, Chunks and Blip both seem like drawn in a little bit.
I tend to prefer grape juice, but maybe we don't play with the dangerous mutagenic. Just putting that out there as a possible change in behavior that we might want to pursue.
Chunks sort of speaks up, like raises his hand up, speaks up, kind of like dismissively waves you a bit. Hear me out. Hear me out. If this stuff is still around, could be clean. I mean, look at the labels. It like turns it around. This original brand, more likely it's safe. There's a lot of Pharaoh out there. We could use this stuff. And Levy is immediately like closes the bag up, is like, nope, no, you're not using this. And then Chunks and Levy just kind of start going back and forth, arguing over whether to keep this stuff and use it to get away, to have better odds to get away from the feral, or just dump it.
Ah,
Oh,
yes, the classic debate of whether or not to use a dangerous mutagenic.
mm-hmm. Um, Jazzy is just gonna strike a chord, just like a mood, just to chill down the mood just a bit, and strike a
Are you like
chord,
trying to grab attention with this?
slightly grab attention, but also trying to keep those two from bopping each other's head over this thing.
All right. Yeah, you strike the chord. By this time, Blip has joined into the conversation on Chunk's side of the argument of using the juice. They all kind of like turn to you a little bit when you strum the chord.
Listen, I get it. It's been a hard and dangerous period of time, but like, have you ever thought about just calming down for just a moment before you guys decide to do something extreme and possibly life altering? Now, what is our current goal other than trying to get away?
Uh, Chunks just kind of looks at you, trying to get away.
Yes, but you're also trying to survive with your head, right?
Oh, I'd keep my head.
This thing wouldn't help you with your head, though.
It might. You don't know.
You don't know either.
I mean, conceivably, it could literally make you lose your head. It's a mutagenic after all. Might like have eyes and mouth in your torso all of a sudden.
Well, do we have a way to check the quality?
Was was the dangerous mutagenic not not clear? Like, do they label it that way? I think they should.
Chunks just kind of stops listening to Jazz and Firewatch and turns to everybody else like, do any of you have a way to check this stuff? Do any of y'all respond? Because after a few seconds, someone else is going to.
I actually I have enough science that I should be able to come up with something, I think.
All right. Would you like to take the bag, start examining what's in it?
Sure.
All right. Can you give me uh, a knowledgeable science roll?
Sure. This is probably my best role.
Sniffs kind of walks over and is kind of looking over your shoulder while you're doing this.
All right. 3. I got 3.
Okay. So, to the best of your abilities to tell, you can never be 100% certain because even some of the properly manufactured stuff wasn't the most stable. But you're looking over it, it doesn't look counterfeit. It doesn't look like it's done poorly. It if you're gonna find any juice left in the rails that isn't going to turn you feral, it's the best odds you've got. Chances are this stuff is fine.
Well, I
Additionally,
Oh,
yeah.
sort of contrary to that, you do catch the energy of the essence of blight hanging off of this bag.
Okay. Like something in there is of the blight.
The bag and its contents are tainted by the blight at the moment.
Well,
There's basically a blight sort of hitchhiking off of this stuff right now.
he will say, well, I've got one of those good news, bad news situations.
I would like to remind you before you continue, chances are no one here except the three of you knows about the blight, and it is one of your jobs as a branch riders to not reveal the
No,
existence of the blight.
I'm good. I'm good. Um, I can confirm that this is indeed the substance which caused the downfall of civilization. Congratulations.
All right. Um, I don't know if that's a straight up lie, but you're definitely keeping information away from these people. So could you roll me
Sure.
social subtlety?
Yeah, that'll be good. I'm so good at that too. All right. 6 and uh,
I
and
wonder, can you, is it possible to assist someone when it comes to like these roles, or is it just like a singular thing?
Um, yeah, you can, or at least how I do things as far as like teamwork and assisting as such is either go ahead and like make a roll yourself, and if you roll well enough, I'll let you buff the other person's roll. If you roll poorly, I'm not gonna worry about like consequences.
Okay.
As long as you can actually explain to me like a meaningful way you can help with it. Or if you've just got a good idea on how your character could help without like exerting too much effort, I might just let them upgrade a dice anyway without you rolling.
Because I
That's
was
that's at least how I roll it. There are some other ways, but
cool. I was just gonna kind of hype up this secrecy lie thing. That's kind of my job.
describe hype up.
Um, his thing is like he pretends like he can't read the room, but he can definitely read the room and the
Got it.
temperature, and he knows how to manipulate information due to who he worked for. So
Mhm.
he's kind of helping along using that past working with control and kind of manipulating the populace, uh,
Okay, okay,
being the instigator in this lie or this withholding of the truth.
okay. Yeah, go ahead and upgrade one of your dice for that, Firewatch.
okay. I had already rolled, but I can upgrade one of my dice to re-roll that one, if that's okay.
Yep, that works.
Okay. So I have 3 successes.
Okay. Uh, yeah, no, they believe you. Um, hmm. We're gonna say you're de-escalating the situation. Let's reduce that exposure level by 1 as
Okay.
the additional bonus there.
Excellent.
Situation die is still going to be a D8 at level 2, but you're further away from getting down to a D6. And additionally, the higher exposure level gets, the more abilities some blights tend to like unlock for themselves. All right.
Uh,
Um, Slight problem. This blight is going to try and hitch some help for itself off of you. So, when a blight tries to attack or otherwise like do something against a player character, something that they are able to use is a blight power. That is the blight's equivalent to gifts. They tend to be more limited, but the blights tend to have more of them. Um, in this case, this blight is using the blight power known as Enrage. I am going to need you to roll Observe plus Communication to not take on an unfortunate emotional state and headspace as this blight tries to weasel its way into your head.
so an observant plus.
Observant plus communication.
Okay. Well, actually, that one's not bad for me. So, because one of the things it has to be. That'll do. 3.
Okay, yeah. You feel the stuff trying to get into you. It's trying to fill you up with rage and feral instinct. You get the idea it's trying to make you replicate the symptoms of someone who has gone feral. It doesn't work. You manage to resist it. It's still around, but it's not really going to be able to do anything to you.
So
Levy sort of walks up after you've explained that it's his. I'm assuming your implication was that it's bad juice, like it would turn them feral.
yeah, he didn't explicitly say that. He just said that
It
this is the
was,
thing that caused the downfall of your civilization. So
yeah, just wanted
yeah,
to make sure I wasn't like misinterpreting the goal there.
yeah.
So yeah, Levy walks up, is like, "Can I take that bag back? Thank you very much." Turns around to Chunks and Blip. That good enough for you? And they both just Chunks just kind of like grumbles, agreeing,
Where did you get?
unhappily agreeing.
Where did you get that?
Levy just continues, just sort of found it. Honestly, it was out in the street. Do you let her take the bag back, by the way?
Uh, Trying to find a good justification for why I wouldn't. I was like, before he lets go of the bag, he's like, we need to destroy this, right?
That's exactly what I'm planning on doing.
Okay. I know a way of doing that. If
Can I,
you'll
can I
let
get an
me.
emotional read on Levy to see if that's the truth?
Yeah, roll me social integrity.
One success. I will fail forward.
Okay. You're not able to get a read on Levy You do get a read on Sniffs, though. You notice that Sniffs pretty much this whole time has just been listening in, trying to gather information. Um, and even after being told that this stuff is not good at all, still seems drawn to the bag in some way.
I will move so that I'm closer to Sniffs and can interpose if I need to, but not in a like a hostile way. I'm just passing it
Got it.
off as
Got
just
it.
I'm stretching my legs after standing for a little bit.
All right. Levy is just like, I mean, by all means, hands it back to you.
All right,
Y'all
and he
hear a
will.
banging at one of the barricades.
All
Everyone kind of
right,
turns to it.
if you can keep them busy, I can get this destroyed.
I mean,
Levy sort of like takes this huge wavering breath. Yeah, yeah. You notice Blip sort of takes out this sort of weird slingshot tennis racket mixed tool, along with some sort of weird like tennis ball that has some sort of like powder in it. Just readies it on the slingshot where the barricade seems to being torn through a little bit. Despite the higher grade wood, there seems to be something that is slowly ripping away at it. Jazzy, Wallace, what are you two? Are you two doing? Are you readying for the oncoming fire? Are you gonna help Firewatch destroy this stuff? What's the plan?
I would like to, if possible, with the extremely limited time available, uh,
Hmm.
fashion just a simple like loads of scrap metal as caltrops in front of the barricade, essentially, just to slow things down.
Uh, give me hmm, give me forceful tools as just like you're trying to get this stuff done very quickly.
I'm assuming my hands would play a part in this.
Yeah, yeah.
That
To be foregone the
is
situation.
that is two successes.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, you're able to make some stuff, or are you just dropping those right outside the barricade that's being broken through?
Yeah, because I'm assuming I don't have time to make a proper trap of any kind, so it's just I'm doing what I can to
Not
slow things
really,
down.
no. Um, Blip actually like notices your sort of like exhausted state, your burned hands, shuffles through some medical supplies that they gathered. Um, and pulls out some sort of just like cream something to help with the burns. It's not going to recover your condition fully, but it's going to get you part of the way there. And then pulls out a shot of what he says he's pretty sure is adrenaline
Uh,
and just hands it to you.
okay, I won't use it because there may be
Mm-mm.
very shortly there may be people who need it more than I do. But I will, thank you ever so much. I will keep this in case of emergency.
Blip just sort of nods at you and then goes back to like having the slingshot ready at the barricade. Chunks just sort of like just seems like he's ready to just fist fight this thing. You do notice he's got like some padded armor on, and like the armadillo y'all saw earlier, has like the shoulder and knee pads. Almost look kind of like hockey, and you're realizing they've got some sort of mechanism to move around for some reason. Um, Levy just sort of like takes a bit of flight, gets up onto some railing higher up in the warehouse, and is just kind of readying themselves to swoop down uh, after they get a better grip on whatever's about to ensue. Jazzy, Firewatch, what are you two doing?
I know that Firewatch is going to look for the perennial thing in every post-apocalyptic setting, a metal barrel that you can put a fire in.
You find one.
And uh, while everybody's getting ready the defenses, he's going to generate the hottest fire he can inside the barrel and drop this stuff in,
Okay. Um,
bag
what's
and
the
all.
free? Never mind. I remember. Yeah. I'm gonna need a self-use of your gift for that.
Okay. He's basically trying to burn it to nothing. Is his
Yeah.
goal here.
Just give me forceful and gift is pretty straightforward. Just burn it to ash. In the meantime, Jazzy, what about you? You appear to be on mute.
Oh, he's just gonna look around. Wally, am I on support or am I on attack?
Jazzy, my friend, how are you feeling right now?
I can go either way. Uh,
Why don't you stay back there as the back line? Um, Pitch in where needed.
gotcha. And he kind of flips the keytar back into like its original spot, hits a chord just to let out that noise to like ward off anything that might be trying to come out from the sides.
Got it. All right. One success. Succeed at a cost or fail forward.
Succeed at a cost. Like this is why we're here. So
Got it. Um, it is worth mentioning juice is a usual thing to find in the rails. This probably isn't the abnormality y'all are looking for. There is blight on it, but you weren't sent to look for blight signature. That said, still very much something you should be dealing with as branch riders.
right.
So, you light the thing on fire, you're going to drop it, and nearly all of it falls out. Actually, it does all fall out, but one vial doesn't make it to the barrel because Sniffs runs, grabs it, and starts bolting. Then a Chimera Feral breaks in through the barricade. You see something bearing large fangs. It's got a scorpion tail behind it, bat wings on its back, covered in like ruffled fur with some sort of horn coming off of its left shoulder, or not left shoulder, left elbow. Uh, you all three immediately clock blight energy off of this thing. So not only has it gone feral, it's also got blight in it. Uh, this is known as a chimera feral. A feral who, back before they turned feral, took an obscene amount of juice and suffered the consequences and debatably now the benefits. They are known to be very strong and very capable, physically speaking, still just as instinctually based as most ferals. However, the fact that there is a blight in this thing very well means it could be working with some level of intelligence. So, Firewatch, or either of the other two of you, are any of you chasing after Sniffs, or are you all staying to fight this Chimera Feral?
I probably wouldn't have seen Snips being focused on the caltrops and the barricade.
I'm
Uh,
sorry, I missed the first part of that.
Oh, I probably wouldn't have seen Sniffs at all, being so focused as I'm on the point of Ingress.
Got it.
and I think Firewatch is going to take after Sniffs. Um, like
Alrighty, Jazzy, staying or going?
Stan, seeing as Firewatch can handle snips, I am gonna handle our Chimera friend.
Alrighty. Um, Levy does like take notice to the juice getting snatched and is like, "What did your friend just do?"
Uh, wait, uh, who's that too?
To Firewatch. Actually, to all three of you effectively, but primarily Firewatch.
Our friend? Sniffs?
He wasn't with you.
No. He ran into us.
Levy takes off flying and is helping Firewatch in the chase. So, we're going to start with the Chimera Feral. It breaks in. Um, Immediately you'll hear this like guttural roar come out of it, and it is going straight into fighting. It jumps into the middle and does this like freaky spinning attack where it tries to jab one of you with with like the horn on its elbow, tries to hit one of you with the tail and swipes at another one of you. I am going to need fire or not Firewatch, sorry, Wallace. Jazzy, you're in the back, correct?
Yeah, in the back,
Then
heading
that's
towards
gonna
the Chimera.
then that's gonna be Wallace, Chunks, and Blip defending against this. So Wallace, go ahead and give me a roll. I am going to need observant plus fighting.
That works for
And
me.
you are going to have a D4 for this because of your weakened state.
Yeah, I assumed that was the case. Ah! Drop my D4. One success.
Okay. So you are going to get hit by this. I'm going to give you a choice. Do you want to get slashed or wrapped up in the tail? The difference is going to be hurt versus gripped here.
I'll take gripped, please.
All right. Yep. You are now gripped by this thing. That is a basic condition, which gives you a D4 situation die until you escape from what has gripped you. Chunks is able to just like kind of tank the hit without taking any damage. Blip does get hit by the sort of like elbow horn thing. And that is going to leave it up to Jazzy or Wallace to go ahead and take their action. In Branch Riders, I let the Chimera Feral kind of just go ahead and take an initial attack since it's like jumping in immediately going for it. But usually in Branch Riders, how combat works is there isn't exactly an initiative round. Instead, every player in like a combat situation can basically take one roll, one action to do something. And then blights at some point during the round, they have a number of actions that they can use to interrupt. So yeah, y'all can choose whichever way y'all want to go in, or if you want to wait out and let Chunks or Blip try and do some stuff first.
I'll let you decide.
I mean, my immediate concern is the tail, so I'm kind of looking at it as it, presumably starting to crush me, and sword cane in hand, trying to aiming at the joints between the segments, and trying to use that as a weak spot to just with my sword cane lever myself free of the tail.
Are you cutting or just sort of like
just levering? It's not a great angle for penetrative power, so I'm just
got it.
Yeah, trying to
just
escape rather than hurt.
Give me forceful fighting. Or actually, you could make that observant fighting.
Oh, thank you, because that's higher.
Since you're like looking for weak spots and such.
That is 3 successes.
Okay, yeah, you're able to break free. Do you want to just use that yes and part to just get a hit in on this thing?
Yes, please. Very much so.
Alrighty. Yeah, that is going to take one of the Chimera Feral's energy away. Blights work on a more standard like HP system called energy. So you don't know how many hits it's going to take, but basically anything that would deal a condition to a player removes an energy from a blight. So yeah, the Chimera Feral is not taking its second action quite yet. So we're gonna say Chunks just kind of curls up into little armadillo ball, you'll now see the like knee and shoulder pads kind of like fold up to remain on the outside of the ball somehow for, I guess, just extra protection. No, spikes just came out of that. It's for damage purposes and is just gonna dash attack over at the Chimera Feral. Um, it hits. It doesn't seem to do much as it hits, and then the Chimera Feral just grabs Chunks and tosses him into a wall. Jazzy, what are you doing?
As soon as I see that, I am just uh leaping up behind this thing and just letting out the loudest, horrific punk core that you have ever heard, and just trying to burst this thing's eardrum, try to cause it some type of disturbance.
All right, you want to give me forceful art or creative fighting?
I can do that. Let me give you that. I'm gonna do that creative fighting.
All righty.
And we are currently, our exposure is 2.
Uh,
That's what the tracker says. I've been trying to keep up
yes.
with that.
Okay. Yes, 3 successes.
Okay, yeah. You're able
Oh,
to
it
send
disappeared.
this thing back. It's actually gonna stagger for a bit and lose its other action for the round. Um, Blip is gonna follow that up, sort of fires the tennis ball out of the slingshot, and when it impacts, it actually bursts into a bit of a small explosion and does another hit to this thing. So, um, the Chimera Feral sort of stands up a bit, is gathering its surroundings, um, looks around, takes a bit of a closer look at Jazzy and Wallace, squinting for a bit, and the exposure level is going to raise by 2.
Oh.
For
The blight in this Chimera Feral has realized you for what you are.
for Jeremiah and Crow's benefit, now it's a D6 situation die.
Hmm.
Ah, good, good, good. Good, good, good.
Additionally, Firewatch. Did you
Yes,
take the bag with you when you dumped the stuff, or did you drop it into the fire? Did you leave it behind outside of the barrel? What did you do?
I presumed based off of what the description, other than the one that fell out, the rest was burnt. And
Yeah, everything in the bag, but I'm asking about the bag itself to
the
clarify.
bag was part of his burn. He was like,
Got it.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, in that case, this other little blight is kind of just wandering around, floating about. It is going to it's gonna enrage Chunks. Chunks sort of comes out of his wrapped up little armadillo ball form, turns around, and then Jazzy, you see the blight literally like enter his body, uh, followed by his eyes going purple. And is going to charge out at you, Jazzy. I am going to need a forceful integrity roll from you as Chunks runs up and literally just tries to bite you. Uh, yeah,
1 success.
one success. All right. Would you like to fail forward or succeed at the cost? Usually I just kind of with defense rolls reduce stuff, but in this case I'm gonna still give you that option.
I'm gonna succeed at a cost.
All right, yeah. You managed to dodge. However, this blight has gotten close enough to you to try and infect you too. I am now going to need an observant plus communication roll from you as it tries to enrage you.
Cool, 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 cool. Okay. Two successes.
Okay, yeah. You dodge the bite, and then you feel the blight sort of try and enter into your mind, and you're able to resist it. Since you just got like two successes, you're not completely like invulnerable to it now, like Firewatch was. But you're resisting it for the moment. Speaking of which, we are going to flip over to Firewatch. You and Levy are chasing down Sniffs as he's running through the warehouse, taking into some back rooms in it. What would you like to do while you're making chase? How are you trying to catch up to Sniffs?
Um, I'm going to try and um, understanding how buildings like this are laid out, try and find a way of getting ahead of him, like
Okay.
being
Uh
looking for like using knowledgeable, I guess, as his approach.
yeah, can you give me knowledgeable culture or
Uh,
observant culture? Either of those would work.
uh, yes, I can do that. Um, so it's a D6, okay. Dude, 6, and the situation die is now D6 as well.
Uh, yes.
Yes, sorry. I did not
Uh,
realize that was a question.
so I got one success.
Would you like to succeed at the cost or fail forward?
Uh, I feel like letting him get away is a bad idea, so succeed at a cost.
All right. Um, yeah, so you are catching up to him. Um, you hear him sort of like talking to himself out loud. Where is that stupid bird when you need it? And as he says that, you hear a radio frequency as the bird that Jazzy and Wallace saw earlier just warps in, just appears in the building and is flying up behind Sniffs faster than you are. You are making it up to him. So is Levy. Levy with his own flight is doing pretty well to keep up. Um, and you're catching up. You're right there next to him, and then you see the bird start to sort of shine back out, and the static is starting to cover Sniffs. It seems like they're going to teleport. Would you like to grab on and go with them?
Sure.
All right. Yeah. You grab on. We're gonna say Levy does not make it in time to grab and warp with you all. You warp into a back alleyway. You can hear something, the sound of rain coming from another alleyway. Unfortunately for Sniffs, he's at a dead end. And if he wants to get to that alleyway where the sound is coming from, which it seems like he wants to, he's going to have to get through you first.
Yep.
The bird just sort of flies uh, up onto the roof of building and just kind of looking down at the two of you. You see Sniff sort of reach for something, uh, looking around, and it falls out of a torn pocket in his trench coat. As he goes down to pick it up, look, I'm just trying to get home. Picks it up, points a revolver at you.
Hmm.
Guns aren't really a thing in the rails, or at least they're incredibly rare to, and there's not really normal ones.
Where are you from, buddy? What's home?
I am going to need you to make a roll to convince him to tell you anything more. It is very clear to you that this man is paranoid and distrusting.
So social plus communication.
Or plus integrity.
Uh, I will go with the communication if that's all
Got
right. Okay, so next. Let's or not. Nothing.
What you got?
Nothing. I rolled three twos.
I do like how your
I
dice are
tell
everything or nothing, or you get something, but we're going to punish you for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got three
Yeah,
twos.
big
Three
goal of the
twos.
rolling system in this game is always keep the plot moving forward, no like dead end results.
Yeah,
Um,
I seem to be stretching the bounds of that particular test.
yep. Um, Sniffs gets this slightly crazed look on his face. Yeah, I could tell you. To me, you're just as dangerous as those things running around here. Cocks the gun. Get out of my way. Let me go home.
I can't let you do that.
I am going to need an observant fighting roll from you as he fires.
Okay, yeah.
Unless you've got another idea for how to resist.
Yeah. Uh, is it safe to read from context clues that he is uh another world traveler?
Very much so. From your guess, trench coat, revolver, uh, been very curious this entire time, and still anthropomorphic animal narrows it down to the realm, the branch known as the Burrows, a noir endless city, uh, where mysteries, conspiracy theories, red herrings, detectives, criminals
He's
everywhere, all the
uh
time.
uh having had enough of this silliness, he is going to go no and uses pyrokinesis to destroy the bullet as it's being fired.
Okay, are you looking to like freeze it and stop it in its place, or just melt it straight out?
Melt it.
All right, yeah. Give me either forceful just from straight firepower to melt it, or observant for doing this in time so that the bullet doesn't hit you first.
Okay.
And then your gift is a D8.
Yeah.
I wish you luck.
Hasn't been with me so far.
It's helped a couple times.
No.
No,
No. Again?
Do you need new dice?
I got one.
you got one. Okay,
One.
that's
Okay.
something. Um, Fail forward or succeed at a cost.
I'm gonna fail forward.
Okay. Um, you get shot before you have a chance for the fire to get out. Can you give me a can you give yourself the wounded condition for me? Is your shot like not quite in like the heart or the lung or anything, but you're shot in the chest. It's not pretty.
Okay.
Um,
What's that do for
Wounded
me?
is an advanced condition, which usually prevents you from using wounded capacity. We're gonna say that this just takes you down. You are gonna need a bit before you can move around again. Um, on the bright side, he looks remorseful. He seems like he doubts what he's doing for a second. Um, uh, and he's not just running yet. You're still able to talk. You're still able to use stuff while you're in place.
Yeah. Uh, he's going to. Well, you feel better? Is this what you wanted? Be killing people?
Uh, can you roll me either forceful communication or social integrity or social communication?
We'll go forceful communication. That's a better pool.
Seriously, new
No,
dice.
I got
no.
I I got one.
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 Succeed at a cost or fail forward.
Succeed at a cost.
Okay. You get this dude to regret his decision. I'll hit you with that cost in a moment here, but first he sort of like walks up to you, puts the gun away. Sear the wound back up. You've got fire. I've seen it. Right? You can do that?
It would do almost as much damage as leaving it be.
Can you freeze it up? Can you
I can
seen
freeze
I've
it.
seen some ice earlier when you were fighting the feral.
I
That's what
can
those things
freeze
are
it.
called, right? Doesn't matter right now.
I can. Uh, are you going to continue to run?
I stay here, those things are gonna kill me. If not them, then those other more normal people.
And if you run, you will continue to spread damage.
How's that?
That vial,
Looks at it for a moment. Just take it. Take it. Just drops it in front of you. If you're gonna come after me because of that, I don't want it.
you can't let people know.
What's going on? How did I get here? What even is here? Who are you?
You're about part of an exclusive club, and we only have a few rules. One of which is cleanse everything with the blight.
What?
Another is never surrender to it, understand it to overcome it, uh, and keep the realms separate and unaware of each other. You are now part of this club.
You're extending him an invite?
Yep.
He looks up at the static bird up on there. Can you give me a knowledgeable culture roll or a knowledgeable weird roll?
Sure. Uh, 3 successes.
Okay. You can now recognize that bird for what it is, an anomaly. a sort of impossible creature that sometimes shows up in the burrows. It is able to create distortions in reality, sometimes break through into other realities, apparently. Um, and is never fully in control of its power and never seems to have very much of an intentional goal. These things often get infected by the blight, which this one appears to be. They are incredibly durable, but removing the blight from it is easier than like killing it or neutralizing it outright. Sniffs kind of considers you for a moment, looks up at the bird again. Can I take the bird with me?
Does that break any of our rules?
If you can remove the blight from it first, no.
But it does have blight.
It's got blight right now, yeah.
Is there a way to remove blight without destroying it?
Yes. Blight can sometimes be like sometimes you can reach something on an emotional level and get it to snap out of like whatever the blight has it under. Sometimes you can literally like pull it out through technology or magic of some kind. Um, Something that could possibly be done at the Nexus, or you could try here.
We can remove the blight from it when we get it someplace safe. And then yeah, it can come with you.
Okay. Sorry, it's kind of the only thing I fully trust right now.
I understand. Uh,
All right, you have got Sniffs on your side. Do you want to try and freeze up that wound so you don't bleed out?
sure, sure.
Let's see if that works out for you.
Yep. Knowledgeable?
Yeah, knowledgeable works.
Okay.
Absolutely. At least it's one,
At
right? It's
least
got to
you
be
got the
one.
3 for convincing Sniffs. I was expecting him to get away at the end of this adventure, so you got that at least. But what did you roll?
A two and two threes.
Throw the whole dice way. Just the whole dice set. All of it. Wherever you got it from, send it back, like to the void.
Get a refund.
Yeah. I like
Uh,
I've been
See if you
changing
can
out some of my
contact a
dice
demon to
too.
remove the
The
curse
whole
or
pack.
something.
You just gotta
I
start
don't know.
again.
Just
All right.
just burn it down. That's the only solution. Just everything must go.
Exactly.
Yeah. So he tries to freeze the
Okay.
wound and
You succeed in giving yourself frostbite. Um, how many conditions do you have at this point?
wounded and whatever the frostbite is. And you
Okay. We're gonna call that weakened, and we're gonna call all of the failed attempts, the bleeding out, the like intense use of your abilities. We're gonna call upgrading that to depleted. You are taken out. You fall unconscious. Depleted is an advanced version of the weakened condition, which prevents you from doing anything more than self-preservation. It doesn't really matter too much right now, but just for informational future reference purposes.
so
You're
he
not
basically
dead. I want to clarify that. You're not dead, you're just completely unconscious.
in a post-apocalyptic hellscape.
Yep,
Cool. Yeah.
have fun. So, we're gonna cut away from that. We're going back to Jazzy and Wallace dealing with the Chimera Feral and now a blighted Chunks. While Blip is freaking out about why his friend is suddenly attacking everybody. Um, yeah, what do you two want to do? The Chimera Feral looks as though it is just sort of stealing itself, analyzing the space around it, which is technically a blight power, but it doesn't cause a defense roll from anybody. So, yeah.
Um, I'm just gonna say to Wallace, I'm like, Wally, Firewatch is probably on his way, probably getting and solving this whole mystery as we speak. So we can focus all of our attention on this. Um,
I have
and
absolute faith in his abilities as a representative of. I realize, where we are, our organization.
he's like the most powerful among us. Like there is nothing that can go wrong. Um, with that being said, he's gonna try to remove this blight on an emotional level.
Okay.
Um, he is going to try and use emotional augury
Okay.
with self. You focus on a person, place, or object. You see the most emotionally charged event to happen to them. Um, uh, he's gonna try to see if he can either get chunks or the chimera, whichever one seems to be like kind of need to be removed ASAP.
Chunks is less dangerous. You're probably better off going for the Chimera Pharaoh if you're wanting to just take this out.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, the Chimera Pharaoh will still be feral even without the blight. So if you do really well, you might be able to turn it docile enough to just leave.
even
Um,
even that's good.
but at the very least, if you succeed at least a bit, you're going to be removing the blight, which is going to remove this thing's intelligence. So that's good at least. So yeah, go ahead, give me your gift die for what's called, realize I didn't fully clarify this earlier. It's approach technique die, which is either a gift or skill, and then situation die. So that's what we usually call as the technique die. But
Gotcha.
yeah, go ahead and use your gift for your technique die. Approach wise, social, maybe observant.
Social, I can do either one. Social's fine.
Let's go with social. And then yeah, you got situation die, which we're actually gonna reduce at this point uh condition the exposure tracker back down, as at least one issue in this situation, Snips, has been dealt with.
You
Uh,
want me to put it to 3 then? Just reduce it by
Yep.
1?
So your situation die is now a D8.
the eight. Okay. Then yeah. Three successes, and I'm just like, I can. I think Firewatch. The emotion of like knowing that Firewatch is just like the most competent and is out there like trying to solve this mission. He wants to do his very best as he's trying to remove the blight from this chimera.
So remind me the description of the gift ability you're using.
Um, you focus on a person, place, or object, and you see the most emotionally charged event to happen to them.
Okay. Um, Gifts you are able to sort of mess around with how you use them, as long as it still fits into the general idea. Uh, you can still use it at different scales, even if it's not the exact ability. Do you want to specifically do that, or do you want to just try and like calm this thing's emotions completely?
Yeah, try to calm this thing's emotions. Try to like hit that emotional chord, pun intended,
Got it.
that will like,
Seek out like a connection.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you touch the sort of buried part of not exactly humanity, anthromanity, I don't know. In this thing, the sort of consciousness still hiding at the core, even past the sort of feral infection. Um, and that's not going to completely alleviate this thing, but it does deal quite a bit of the blight's energy in it and remove the blight from it, as it's kind of coming back to its internal senses, which is enough for it to lose, for the blight to get torn off of it. It does still return to its feralistic instincts, but it doesn't have much energy left. That's when it's going to attack you.
Aw.
It is going to grab you, uh, try and grab you by the throat. Oh, wait, I misread this power. Never mind, actually. It's gonna turn over and go attack Wallace.
Oh,
Because why wouldn't it?
Wally, you
Yeah,
got this.
yeah, it's not a blight anymore, so you can choose how you react, but it's basically running up and then shifting its body to like bring the scorpion tail right down on you.
This seems like a similar situation to the tiger earlier. So I'm obviously a bit distracted by the fact that my hands hurt and
Hmm.
there's a blighted individual supremely annoyed at the world right now. But I'm still keeping an eye on it and just again, it's more just dance and avoid, evade
All right,
than outright like power and retaliate.
give me another observant fighting with your situation die.
Uh,
Meanwhile, Jazzy, I'm gonna need you to once again roll forceful integrity as Chunks tries and goes to bite you again.
I got two successes.
All right, yeah, you're able to dodge the Chimera Feral's attack. Do you want to make any sort of riposte?
Yeah, sure, why not? I'll wait
All right.
and you know, in that moment where I assume the stinger is either stuck in the ground or it's kind of like off balance because it's skidded across the ground with the
Mhm.
stinger. I'll just strike back if I may.
All right, give me another observant fighting then. Jazzy, what you got? Two successes? All
Two
right, yeah.
successes.
Uh, Chunks also misses. Blip toss another explosive tennis ball, this time at Chunks's back as to not blow up his friend. Um, but still hopefully do a bit of damage, exhaust him a bit. It does hit. It does land. Chunks is almost down, but not quite. So you've got two very weak enemies left. What you got, Wallace?
Uh, well, I did remember belatedly to. I was going to ask if I could upgrade my die for having the rapier as my equipment, but I got three successes anyway, so it would make no
Okay.
difference whatsoever.
All right. Yeah. You land a very solid strike on the Chimera Feral, and it is knocked out. Um, so that leaves Chunks. Jazzy, what you want to do about Chunks here?
I am going to try and um I'm going to remove the blight and I'm going to be like, you need to calm down, mister.
Okay. Uh, are you using your gift again, or are you just trying to like talk him down?
Talk him down.
Okay. Give me social integrity or social communication.
Okay. Okay, I barely got all three of them with fours. But we were cutting it very close. We're cutting it very close.
Wait, so you got three successes, but they were all fours?
All fours.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, you're able to talk the blight down out of it, or talk the blight out of him, sort of calming down. And you see little purple wispy energy try and float out, and whatever part of Chunks is still mentally connected to this stuff just punches the like little spirit down and it dissipates. What just happened?
You caught a little bit of like the juice. I think you just absorbed like the vapors or something, or you just, you got too into it and you just like kind of got piked up on like the adrenaline and stuff like that. Kind of just
Blip
seems like you had that moment.
chips in is like, you went crazy, dude.
Yeah. You tried to kill your friends, but like who hasn't tried to like, wipe out their friends a couple of times with their fists?
Blip like turns over to you. Have you tried that?
No, but like, I feel like I'm not gonna rule anything out.
Yeah, it's simply a matter of time, Jazzy. You know it, I know it, Firewatch knows it.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking
Blip
of,
just looks at the two of you, looks back at Chunks. I'm out. Just runs, just walks out, and is headed back to wherever he came from. Uh, Chunks is looking around. Where's Levy?
Yeah, they went that way. Based on
Wait,
historical, based on what I know of Firewatch, I did rather assume that they would. Well, at least he and Levy would be back by now.
Guess let's start looking. He picks up some of like the stuff that they scavenged before this whole ordeal. Uh, and starts heading the way you look. Do you two want to follow?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Or heading the way you pointed? All right, yeah, you all make it up. Find yourselves at basically a dead end in the warehouse where it's barricaded up. Tracks led there. Doesn't seem to be anybody there. Would you like to investigate any further?
Very much so. I am not concerned, but perhaps perturbed.
Yeah.
All right. Would y'all mind giving me observant and weird?
Okay.
Would my hands probably don't count for this, but does weakened?
No,
Cool.
no.
That's good because I have no weird, so I need as many dice as I can at as high value as I can. 2 successes, the most I could possibly score.
Same.
Okay. Yeah, y'all are snooping around. First thing y'all see is a singular static feather left behind by
Bird.
your bird friend from earlier, followed by some sort of mystic traces of light.
Oh.
You can see a sort of purpley faint trail leading off, seemingly from where maybe this bird went invisible or maybe warped somewhere.
First thing we saw when we got here was what we were sent here to deal with. Wonderful.
So that means that Firewatch is somewhere dealing with the thing and probably is heading back. So we should probably meet up with them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Got a
All right, y'all
debrief.
follow it along.
Yeah, follow the
You
trail.
two seem pretty relaxed about all this, so I'm assuming y'all aren't like rushing.
No reason to, particularly.
Just
All right, Wallace, go ahead and actually no. Before I say that, can one of y'all give me an observant subtlety roll for just y'all's general trailing of this stuff while trying not to be noticed by more feral?
If it helps, Crow, that'll be three d8s for me.
you got it.
Right. On your head be this result. 2 successes.
Okay, yeah. Y'all are able to make your way. You're making your way. It's pretty calm. Remind me, Jazzy, do you have any conditions yet?
No.
Nice. Okay, in that case, Wallace, go ahead and clear your uh weakened condition. You got some time to actually breathe now.
Fantastic, thank you.
On this casual apocalyptic stroll. And just because I want to showcase this part, this is a bit easier than you would usually get one of these. But Jazzy, are you feeling pretty good about what's going on today? About the events that have
Always.
transpired? Yeah, go ahead and give me go ahead and take an encourage to edge. That's gonna give
Okay.
you a resistance to some conditions, the generally the type of ones that would like get you a bit down emotionally or just maybe even some that would like exhaust you. Got the emotional energy to sort of amp yourself up a bit. So yeah, that's going to let you resist or remove a some conditions. It's not universal. You can't like remove like a wound by being
Right.
encouraged, but it'll help you with some other stuff. Um, if you got any other ideas for how you might want to use that condition, feel free to let me know. I'm open to suggestions. But yeah, you two are following along. Firewatch. Um, you're still taken out, but you do come back to consciousness a little bit. You see that you're patched up a little bit. Still very tired, but at least able to see now. You see Levy like in the air, sort of like swiping out at the anomaly, while Sniffs is like aiming, trying to get a clear shot on the anomaling to not kill, but just sort of like graze the wing, get it to not fly as well. Um, Looks like they've been at this for probably like half an hour now. Seemingly this thing teleported you quite a bit of distance. Um, and you hear your you don't actually know for sure it's your allies, but you hear three sets of footsteps coming up. Jazzy, Wallace, you two see Firewatch on the ground with a bandage with some red seeped through it. Um, around his chest. You see Sniffs with a gun pointed at the bird and Levy up there flying around with it.
I feel like Firewatch did not, in the colloquial, got this. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
and things may have escalated slightly faster than we anticipated.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
also notice on your way in, there's this just tear in the middle of the air, this just white and orange tear, and you can see peering through it is this like dark city street. It's raining, there's like flickering street lights. Um, just like out there's like a dumpster you're in like it's in like this dead it's looking out of this dead end alleyway. There's people passing by in the distance. You can assume they can probably see this tear in the curtain if they get close enough. So if you don't want anybody else coming through, you might want to deal with that.
Happily, I have just the thing that may help Firewatch right now.
Alrighty.
And I run over and shot of adrenaline.
All right. Um, you have the depleted and wounded conditions, correct, Firewatch?
Yes.
Yeah, so that adrenaline would give you a strengthened condition. We're just going to have that reduce your depleted to weakened. So you're back up, still not feeling great at all, but you can do things again.
And I have it on sort of good authority that being hit with an adrenaline shot is not pleasant in the slightest.
Hmm.
Oh, no, it isn't. Uh, I had a
So,
bad experience. Um,
yeah, what y'all doing about this bird
can
and this tear in the curtain over in the other alleyway?
can Firewatch actually do something at this point? Because he's now
Yes,
wordless.
you are no longer taken out. You're still wounded, which means you still can't really move around too much as far as like walking and such. And you're weakened, which means exerting extra effort gives you a D4 situation die, but you can do things again.
Look, he's gonna lie there looking up at the bird, and he's just going to try and add a bit of icing to its wing so it will come down.
All right, yeah, give me observant with your gift. And let's pray so much that you don't roll zero successes.
Are we still at the D6 situation, or are we?
Yes, yes, we are. And you're just kind of using your power in a very casual way, so I'm not going to make the weekend affect you too much here.
Okay, I got 2 successes.
If it, I don't know what
Hallelujah.
it is, we are on a D8 situation now. If
Oh, we are? Oh, we
because you
are.
reduced it because of dealing with
Yes.
sniffs. So
Sorry, I'm having trouble keeping track of that without being able to see it.
sorry, I should
Trying
have
to mark it myself, but I've got a whole document open keeping track of like stat blocks.
I should have
Um,
spoken up sooner.
all good. Um, yeah, so yeah, you're able to ice this thing's wings a bit. It slows down, kind of has to perch up on top of one of the buildings again. Levy gets a good swipe in on it right after that. Uh, she seems to be going for the kill it till it's dead approach. Um, yeah. Jazzy, Wallace, what are you two doing?
Do we have any idea how to close a tear in the fabric of reality?
Well, You are equipped with some sort of standard branch rider's gear to help deal with this stuff. It's generally pretty difficult. Any sort of mystical abilities, the curtain kind of is in this in-between spot of being connected to all the realms, so it could react to magic from the realms. Additionally, you do have a bird with a knack for manipulating reality if you can just get the blight off of it. So yeah, you can either try the harder route of trying to seal it up yourselves with your own like tools and magical abilities, or you can bet on trying to get the blight out of this bird and see if it can help you once it's hopefully not hostile.
Um, I'm gonna go for the bird. Try to hit that emotional spot and be like, Chanticleer, here.
Chanticleers?
Chanticleer, yeah.
I got no clue what that means.
No one knows what that means, but it's provocative. I'm trying. I just want to get my bird. I've already named him and claimed him. He shall be mine, and he shall help us close this portal.
All right. You want to give me social integrity?
Sure. Doo-doo.
You avoid my luck.
Two. Okay.
Three.
Oh, three.
Three.
Okay, nice. Uh, yeah, this thing sort of flies down a bit, lands on a what was once a street light, is now kind of just a half broken pole. Kind of lands on it sideways. You're not sure how this is working gravity wise, but it seems fine. And it raises its wings out again, starts kind of adjusting them, and you're hearing the radio frequencies again. Um, it only seems to really like you very much. Uh, so when Levy tries and like walks up to it, or fly down to it rather, and Sniff's kind of walking up, looking just in case he needs to fire, it does turn around and it's going to use reality roulette again. So let me roll real quick for what it gets. That is explosive charge. I'm going to need everyone except Jazzy to roll me forceful plus fighting as a just weird little ball of like radio signal. You can actually hear like a broadcast coming off of it as it just flies out and then blows up in the middle of all of you.
Oh,
Three successes.
Okay,
forceful plus fighting.
correct.
Right. Well, so it happens. Those are decent.
You're going to
rolls
have a
for-
D4 for that situation die because you're weakened.
Oh yes, that's right. Of course I am.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to keep making your potential results worse than they already are, but
I'm
That's
going to
alright.
say that you got this, and you can still pass whatever happens towards you.
Entirely
Uh,
unrelated. I've rarely been happier to not be playing in the physical space with someone, so
the aura of bad luck.
I don't need that
Yeah.
aura on my dice. They're bad enough as it is.
Wait, what? What happened?
What did you get?
3 successes.
Yay!
Hey! Okay, yeah. Um, you dodge out of the way. You can feel the adrenaline kicking in more. We're gonna remove that weakened condition. Um, the shot of adrenaline kind of mixing with the oh my gosh, this thing just blew up part of this like street. Okay. You're kind of in like fight mode again. Um, you all hear along with just a sort of like electrical burst of potential damage. Everybody manages to get out of the way of it in time. Uh, Along with it is just like a dozen different like you hear like a morning radio show and like a drama broadcast, somebody's like conspiracy podcast playing, out all at the same time as this thing bursts.
Yay,
Um,
frogs!
uh,
Sorry.
we're gonna raise that exposure again by one, as one of those frequencies happens to attract the feral back. So you only got so much time before this stuff is back on you. However, with that, Jazzy, would you like to continue taming this bird?
Ah, yes, I would.
Alrighty. It turns back to you and just starts doing the little radio frequencies again, almost as if it's trying to talk to you.
I can speak bird, especially radio bird. Um, okay. I'm trying to emotionally communicate with this thing. Um, Even so often making a bunch of staticky radio noises myself.
Are you using your guitar for that, or are you just trying to do that like with your mouth?
Using the guitar for that.
Or sorry, not guitar, it's a keytar, right?
It's a guitar, yeah.
Uh, yeah, go ahead and give me. Do you want to do social art, social integrity?
Social integrity.
I'd also take creative integrity, actually.
Okay. Um, two successes.
Okay. Yeah. You two kind of tune into each other's frequencies. You're able to kind of get a bit of a line to it. What do you want to say to this thing?
Um,
What message do you want to get across?
uh, we are now best friends, and I need you to close up the rift. Uh, so more people don't get hurt.
All right. You'll see the last of the blight energy sort of leave the anomaly. Looks for somewhere else to go for a bit, then just decides this isn't worth the trouble anymore, and zips away. The anomaling flies onto your keytar. It's still got the whole static look to it. Its appearance has not changed.
He's
Turns
so
its
cool.
head, looking you straight in the eyes with one of its eyes. Well, that sounds just dandy. If like a radio static sound come over it, and it flies over to the portal and starts kind of like closing it up just by staring at it. Uh, tearing the curtain is closed. Levy uh gives you all some goodbyes and some thanks for the help. Gives like does one of these to Sniffs, flies off to go find Chunks and Blip, and Sniffs is just looking at you all. So, how do we get wherever we're going?
That we have means to do. So, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Wait, we?
yeah. Meet the latest recruit.
More friends. We have two recruits now. Two more recruits.
All right. So, yeah, y'all contact the Nexus headquarters. They take you back out, and y'all have added a new recruit to the branch riders, Sniffs of the Burrows, and their birdie companion. It's actually neat. There is actually a gift called Anomaly, which is basically the like companion ally version of an anomaling. Alrighty, so yeah, that's our session in the Rails today. I hope you all enjoyed it.
Very much so. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I had lots of fun. My dice did not like me today.
We had lots of
They
fun.
gave you some pivotal successes, but for the most part they did not like you.
What? They were interested in telling a much more complicated story than I realized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh. So yeah, this game is again, it's on Kickstarter right now. If you all enjoyed playing and if you all enjoyed watching, please go check it out. Uh, there was also we did another actual play yesterday on I think it was the Dork Tales channel. I might be wrong. Um, in the Borderlands, which is a sort of Old West realm full of like Renaissance artist style people. So yeah, you can also go check that out if you want to see more. Um, Today we also had a character from the Heights, which is again sort of superhero cityscape, 1960s cityscape. That was our friend Firewatch here. Um, we've got somebody from the party, which is this sort of authoritarian dystopia realm where emotion and magic are suppressed by a group known as Control because um, there are people there called heart wizards who are able to use magic through their own emotions and the emotions of others, or sense emotions and manipulate emotions. In this case, Jazzy here is able to kind of see emotions and connect with people through their gift, emotional augury. And finally, we had somebody from the chain, Wallace here, who is from a realm full of like steampunk pirates on the open sea. There's a Iron Fist organization known as the Steel Imperium, which is actually using the Blight to power machines and weapons and such. As the chain is the one realm to actually be aware of the Blight. And yeah, they're trying to take over this world full of people who want no one to control them. So yeah, those are some glimpses into the other realms. I hope you all enjoyed. Again, go check us out on Kickstarter if you enjoyed watching, or if you three enjoyed playing, and enjoy the rest of the cons, actual plays, panels, whatnot. I think that's a wrap on Branch Riders for today.
Thank you
It's
so much,
will,
fun.
Bonnie. Thank you to everyone watching, of course, as well.
Thank you all.
I will actually add, having looked at the Kickstarter, the art direction on it is really nice.
It's awesome.
Yeah, the artwork, it looks really, really cool. And you
It's
should check it
actually
out. Yeah.
the front page art piece is actually from the rails. So there's a bit of a glimpse of sort of the area we've been looking at.
But yeah, I thought it was worth mentioning. The artwork
Yes,
on
thank
the
you.
book looks really neat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll send everyone on then on their way to I think Onyx Path has just had a panel start, so I'll send everyone over there.
Alrighty, have fun
Sure.
here, everybody.
Have fun. Bye.
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 Farewell.